Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Karen. Today I am sharing my 6th journal in this series, and this is the final edition. It is now limited. It's closed. I'm not going to make any more, and it has been a pleasure making these. They're absolutely gorgeous, but I just want to finish off with this one. This is a beautiful commissioned request by Linda that I have connected with through Damsels in Lace group on Facebook, and she is a collector of journals, and I have never seen anything so exquisite or amazing. She doesn't make journals herself, but she collects them, and I am just so honored that she would choose one of mine to add to her collection. So the journal that she had seen that she liked had a piece on the front that was actually vintage. And I said, I don't know that I can even find anything close, but I did find this one. However, it was very, very white. This is another one that I got. And what I did was I just painted it. I used Prima's metallic paint, and I just painted all the individual little beads there carefully before I attached it to the vintage lace, of course. But I'm hoping that this is going to meet her expectations and exceed them, because it's a stunning journal. Really adds a lot of focal interest to the cover. So this particular journal is called Vintage Shabby Chic French Blue 6.0. This is the final one in this limited edition of Shabby Chic Blue journals. I have used some more gorgeous custom dyed lace by Suzi Oberman. She is MaryNotMartha on Etsy, and I have a lot of her beautiful custom lace pieces inside this journal as well. Underneath the lace, I've used blue artisan paper. Artisan paper is very fibrous. It is handmade, not manufactured, and textured. So it is, I think, superior quality. It's very hard to rip evenly or cut on a cutter. You really have to just use a pair of scissors. So that is the difference. One of the viewers had asked me, what is artisan paper? And I said, it's just not manufactured. You can tell it's handmade. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's a lot more durable. And it was the perfect color of blue. Got a beautiful antique doily underneath. There's a centerpiece here. Underneath the centerpiece is another layered piece of vintage, came from a vintage tablecloth. I've got some antique French lace here that I've made a ruffle with. I've added one of Sheila's stick pins here. I could not get it to cooperate on a page inside, so for now it's here. Linda, you can take this off easily and move it anywhere in the journal that you would like. I've got some vintage pearl trim at the top, and this one I have added this gorgeous vintage tassel, removable tassel for her, and I'm hoping she's gonna love it, because I think it just adds the perfect finishing touch to this journal. We've got some beautiful antique and vintage buttons down the spine that I've sewn on, and I've just left the back plain. Use some eyelets, metallic eyelets, metal eyelets, and this beautiful damask silk that I have. I don't have very much of it left. I think I can go buy some more, and it's just got the most beautiful flop to it. It's just absolutely stunning. I really hope that you like it, Linda. So let's go inside. It is, I think, 15 or 16 pages. I ended up taking one out of this because it had nothing on it, and I just thought, I don't need it. So it means I could add a little bit more bulk inside. The spine on these two are 1 3/4 inches. On the previous single signature journals I made in this series, I made them 1.5 inches. So I ended up using more lace and trims and beads and things, which does add bulk to them. On the inside of the covers, I have added this beautiful vintage lace edge trim that came from a tablecloth, and I've left this empty because anything I kept putting in it just fell out, and I just thought, I'm not going to wrestle with it anymore. I'll just leave it. And Linda, you can put whatever you want in it. What she did request was that the first page did not have an image of the Victorian lady on it, because she likes to put a picture of her, an actual photograph of her mother in each journal that she has, which I think is a really sweet thing of her to do. So she can add, you know, a stack of photos in there, whatever she would like to do. And we have some beautiful vintage lace with some crinkled seam binding through that side piece here. Again, I have stenciled in archival sky blue ink and script stamped. One of the images from G. Kerr's Paris Fashion Ladies, Vintage Fashion Ladies. Some beautiful vintage trim up at the top here, and this is Tim Holtz wallpaper that I've used for the tag or the journaling card. Some of Suzi's beautiful lace, a fussy cut butterfly from the digital kit. The digital kits are the series Shabby Blue, and they are by Kylie from PaperDaisyJournals. Some beautiful antique lace here on the side. I've used blue stitching throughout. Gorgeous piece of Sheila's custom dyed textiles and laces that I got from her, which is part of the royal blue velvet bundle. And this is some matching velvet that I got from Suzi, which coordinated very nicely. A little tiny tag that I've punched using Martha Stewart book page, a tiny little pearl dangle, and attached with a bulb pin. This is a tag made out of the artisan paper again, and just backed with parchment paper. I've used my slotted punch and some crinkled seam binding, and I just did a little bit of a collage here, or a snippet with several different types of lace that each have a flower on them. And they can be written on the back, of course. This side I've got a belly dam made out of one of the images from the kit, and a tag made out of some Stamperia paper. Beautiful, coordinating. And this tag topper is the Cote d'Esprit or Swiss dot that has been custom dyed blue by Suzi. I have used a die cut here from Sizzix, the Tim Holtz butterflies. Some tea-dyed scrapbook paper. I've tea-dyed pretty much everything in here. Some of the beautiful vintage lace from Suzi Oberman. This page I love. It is a vintage handkerchief that I've added, and I've used music paper to make an envelope, and just some journaling paper. I've stamped the word journal on there, and I found this beautiful image. It's actually a business card from a vendor that I buy from locally here in Sacramento, and I just think it's so perfect for this journal. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I just tucked it in with this envelope. These fibers are from a lady from Russia that I buy from, and I used the delicate blue antique sand paste by Sampool. These are so cool. I am in love with this cosmic shimmer stuff. Very gritty, but it's got so much texture to it. It's very, very, I just think it's stunning. Very textural. And then we've got tea-dyed tracing paper, some beautiful French lace here with the insert, and I use some of my fibers that I get from the lady from Russia. And on this side, I've got a beautiful antique applique or motif on top of some dry embossed paper that I've done, just parchment paper. And one of the beautiful images from the kit, I have put vintage lace on top of some scrapbook paper, and then just stitched this all together with blue thread. I have several rolls of vintage lace that I've wrapped up on spools and just keep them really handy, the ones that I use the most, and I rotate them. I don't want to always use the same. but I just find it's easier if I limit myself to 3 or 4, and then that's what I use for each journal or project that I'm working on. Some tea-dyed Cote d'Esprit or Swiss dot. And then here we've got this double belly band page. These can be swapped out for any kind of ephemera. I use this beautiful paper pack by Stamperia and one of the Tim Holtz ephemera pieces. I think the kit is called Keepsakes, and this image is his as well. And then we've got this gorgeous GIMP trim, I think it's called, in this color. That's so perfect for these journals. Thank you, Sheila. It's just gorgeous. I am in love with it, as you know. And I've got one of the beautiful appliques by Nicki here from RavioleeDreams on Etsy. And this is some of Suzi's custom dyed blue lace. Beautiful. And then this page is kind of cool. I've come up with this pocket where I use a digital image from the kit, and then I just attach lace to the bottom part, but I stitch it down the side here and only partly here, and then this bottom one is open. So you can see the full tag or journaling card through the large pocket, and then just the little one through the small one. So I kept it very simple. I just added a bit of pink, did some paper punching on the bottom. These are Paris Fashion Ladies. Those are, is that Louise Heinzel? I think, I can't remember. And just some scrapbooking paper here with the tea-dyed Cupro as the tag topper. Tim Holtz die cut there. And some beautiful crinkled seam binding. I love this color, adding just a little bit of pink or soft blush or peach. It's a really nice contrast to the blue, and it picks up in the roses from this image here. I've got some book page here with Sheila's beautiful sequin trim. So very delicate. I just absolutely love this one. And some music paper here with some gorgeous eyelet cotton and this beautiful vintage or antique blue trim that I've added to this side. On this page, I've got a beautiful antique doily that I've attached over top of this page to coordinate with the images of the lace. And I kept it partially open so you can use it as a tuck spot, and did a little mini tiny journal. Attached some beads on here. And another image from the French lady, Paris Fashion Ladies, and a stamp the word journal. And it's just scraps. Just lovely little scraps. And of course this can be replaced with anything that she would like to change out over time. And I left the stitching there because I was fine with it. You can still journal over that very easily, and here, lots of room for journaling, as you can see. Got some beautiful, beautiful French blue vintage lace from Suzi on this side, underneath the image from the kit on this tag, and this is Tim Holtz wallpaper as well, just stitched with blue thread, coordinates so lovely with this page. And here I've added 3 more of my dangle beads that I made myself. And I'm so pleased with the way they turned out. I finally figured out how to do them successfully and get my loops straight, and I'm having so much fun with it. So, Linda, I hope you enjoy these beads. They are so pretty. Got a fussy cut butterfly from the kit on this side, and then here I've added a lace panel that wraps both pages, both sides of the page of tea-dyed cardstock. This tag I've made out of Edith Holden book page, backed it onto parchment, stamped it with the word vintage and the description of vintage. Those stamps are all by Lorna Taylor from Taylor Made Journals. And I've used a wildflower die cut. And here, look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful custom dyed blue lace in love. And I've used the topper of some vintage lace as well. And then this center of the signature, I also went more with the aqua turquoisey theme, because it brings out the color of the dresses that these beautiful ladies are wearing in the images. And some vintage lace underneath, some dyed blue Cote d'Esprit or Swiss dot on the top, and a tiny tag made out of music paper with a little tiny pearl dangle attached with a ball pin. And on this side I've got some beautiful delicate lace. This is by Nicki from RavioleeDreams, and it can be opened out, this flap, and written on, journaled on, if that's what the new owner would like to do. And this side is just a removable tag, so all of this can be journaled on in between. I love this image. Beautiful French antique lace here, and some vintage trim in this very delicate ivory and blue together, so perfect. Vintage lace underneath, and the tag topper out of the Swiss dot in the custom dyed blue. And then on this other side of the lace pocket, I've done a very similar tag made out of Edith Holden book page, some parchment paper, and I've stamped the word journal and the description of a journal. Tag topper is some crinkled seam binding, and I've attached some beautiful vintage buttons to the ends. And just pops in here. This side has one of the fussy cut butterflies from the digital kit that I've just collaged onto the page edge. And I'm in love with buttons, so vintage buttons it is. These are a very gray, blue, turquoisey color that are just so beautiful and perfect for this kit. They complement it so nicely. And this is vintage crochet cotton trim on the edge. A French invoice. And one of the beautiful rose images from the kit. Parchment paper here. And on this side I've added a belly band made out of vintage trim that I have. I think this is the last piece of this one as well. And then I've just added one of Nicki's beautiful custom dyed blue appliques. I just think it's so beautiful. Very pleased with the way it turned out. You can still very easily write on this side of the page. And then here I've just attached a Tim Holtz piece of ephemera onto the front, and a piece of parchment paper that I've stamped with the word journal. Lots of extra room for writing. And I really hope you like this page too, Linda, because I was very pleased with the way it turned out. Simple, but very elegant. Some more custom dyed lace here. Now that one could be Sheila's, or it could be Suzi's. And I've used the insert lace as well and run some blue satin ribbon through it. Just a tiny little pocket here using Tim Holtz ephemera. Music paper with some beautiful crochet cotton trim stitched on with blue thread. Got a pretty little sapphire colored dangle at the top. And then here I've done this technique again with the antique sand paste in the delicate blue over top of some scrapbook paper, backed onto parchment paper, stitched in blue thread with the tea-dyed Cupro textile at the top. Just a blue bird here, one of the ephemera pieces from Tim Holtz on the back of this book page. And more of Sheila's beautiful sequined netted trim. I absolutely love this. It's like a gray blue. It's just so pretty. Here we've got a beautiful crochet cotton trim. This probably originally comes from a pillow edge of a pillowcase or a tablecloth, and I've just cut it up and used it in as a pocket here. Another image from the kit with vintage lace, sewn with blue thread, topped with the tea-dyed Swiss dot, and it just pops into the pocket here and sticks out the bottom. A very tiny tag made out of Edith Holden paper with a charm that says made with love, and just paper punched out with a tiny little heart. Here I've got this beautiful blue lace. This is the end of this one as well. I don't have any more now. And one of these word tags, word sticks. I don't know what you call them, but they're really cool. I found a place for each one of them in each journal, which I'm pleased. And this particular one says, do what you love. Here we've got this flap here and beautiful, very antique looking page with some dry embossed parchment paper, vintage lace, vintage fabric here on this side, and a pocket side tuck made from an image from the kit. Some of Tim Holtz ephemera. Lots of room for journaling. This is the other place that I was really trying to get the stick pin to work, and it just was not happening. Vintage crochet trim here, tea-dyed tracing paper. Here is a large journaling card made out of wallpaper and backed with blue parchment paper. One of Suzi's beautiful blue and pearl applique trims that just looks so beautiful against these pages here. And some Tim Holtz ephemera, just a little tiny tuck with a little piece of ephemera inside there. Here's some of Sheila's beautiful eyelet cotton custom dyed trim that is from the Royal Blue Velvet bundle that I've got. French, actually not a French invoice, it's just an invoice. Some of the images from the kit that I've just made a pocket out of, and this is a tag, small tag that can be journaled on. One of the butterfly images fussy cut from the kit and collaged onto the bottom corner here. I absolutely love this beautiful crochet trim, and I chose to add some beautiful vintage buttons here and some beads. I just buy them like this, Japanese beads. I love the color. It was just so perfect. The blue, French gray, French blue, whatever you call it. It just coordinated with this page so nicely. Here I've got a pocket made out of some vintage lace that I have, and a journaling card with one of the images from the Vintage Ladies by G. Kerr, backed onto parchment paper, stitched around in blue thread. And that's the end of this journal. I've got my logo here, Vintage Elegance Inspiration, and a final journaling card made from an image from the kit with some vintage lace and scrapbooking paper, and topped with some beautiful blush colored vintage lace. Tucked in here. She can add to this, of course, as I said. And that's the back of the journal. And I didn't show the beads close up. Hers are made from the same pair of vintage earrings. I just pulled, deconstructed them, pulled them apart. And I really do love the assortment of beads that I've used. These ones are a little bit shorter than the previous journal. They're 2.5 inches long. So if that's something that she doesn't care for, she can easily cut them off and hide the strings if she likes. But I like the way they dangle down from the bottom. I think it's just beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and seeing all the elements that I've used to make it personal for each lady. And I hope, Linda, that you really enjoy this journal. And again, I'm so honored that you would ask me to make this for you, and it's been my joy. Thank you for your patience, and I really do. I'm looking forward to seeing it on your shelf of journal treasures. So thank you for watching and staying with me, and I hope you have a great day.